this case. We have instead put in a slightly different service which covers Early and Woodley, following consultations with the public, which I think will end up being a better service than the service that was there before. But as I said, the reason for the previous service ceasing was because Reading buses underquoted and then demanded money with menaces.
This is not so much a question as there'll be a question at the end of it to make it into a question, but it's an important issue in Winnersh. On Monday next week, SGN will be starting to dig up the Winnersh Crossroads as part of the gas main replacement. And as a consequence of that, SGN have sent the local members emails explaining that if you're coming out of King Street Lane and Robin Hood Lane, so on the B3030, you will only be able to turn left out of those roads. However, the signs that the council have put up to warn of this work say no right turn. They don't explain that there's no straight on either. I've mentioned this to Highways. The signs are still there when I came in this evening. Please can you make sure that before Monday people are warned that they will not be able to go straight on either.
I'm very happy to take that up on your part.
Okay, Keith Baker. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members in the Chamber may well have seen the announcement that Woodford Park in Woodley has been have been given a Green Flag Award. Yes. Now, the Green Flag Award, just for those of you who don't know what it is, it's an international award. It's been running for 30 years. It's a sign to the public that the space boasts the highest possible environmental standards, is beautifully maintained, and has excellent visitor facilities. Can I ask the leader of this council to write to Woodley Town Council and Friends of Woodford Park congratulating them on achieving this excellent service? Thank you.
Thank you. I did admire the wonderful picture in the paper this week of many of the community holding the flag, including Councillor Richard Dolinsky. I'm very happy to write to those members of the community who've got involved in order to shape the park to what it is today and congratulate them. And I have obviously recently visited it, and it is a wonderful place. So congratulations to all of those people who have been involved in that particular project.
Gary Kelly.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Councillor Weeks made reference to the Sonning appeal, I'll address the question to him. I read the paper, and there were three issues that I found did concern me. One was that the council made reference to a 5% buffer, where the historic figure we used in most of our planning documents being 20%. They referred to 450 houses on Cutbush Lane, and they didn't bring any legal representation to the appeal. Does he not think that weakened our case and put us into this less than 5-year housing land supply predicament that we are now in, which is very disappointing?
Happy to answer your question, Gary. Firstly, in terms of the 5% versus the 20% buffer, our calculations show that we are substantially exceeding either of those, so it wouldn't have made any difference whether it was the 5 or 20% buffer that was being used. And the second point regarding legal representation is that, as I explained in my earlier answer, my earlier statement, that the appeal was by means of a hearing, and these are held in an informal sense, and it is very unusual to have any legal representation on either side. It's really the relevant parties sitting around the table trying to thrash out the issue. It's only when you get to the public inquiry level of inquiry that there is legal representation as a minimum of barristers, sometimes QCs on both sides. I also alluded in my answer to the fact that we are awaiting an undetermined appeal which has been held by public inquiry, and we're hoping that inspector may come to a more appropriate decision.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guy Graves.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask the Executive of the Environment regarding the travellers that recently went onto Laurel Park today, and if notice has been served and want to leave the park.
Thank you. Yes, I mean it happened not so long ago, and I believe a notice has been served on them to the partners this time.
Within my ward on the Reading Road and within Winnersh, we've had problems with trucks putting aggregates and concrete onto the roads. It's caused at least one accident that we know of, and we've got witnesses that have traced the trucks back to the Towtley depot where the cement batching plant that we've been trying to get rid of exists. Please can I have an update on when that cement batching plant is going to be moving?
Again, we've arranging that through the lease arrangement, through property services, which is a more effective way of addressing the issue through the planning system. Inevitably, whilst it may be more effective, I'm afraid it's somewhat more long-winded, and I'll arrange to get you an update on how that's developed.
Chris Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a question to the Executive Member for Housing. Reading the Lib Dem manifesto, it was stated that Woking Borough Council to provide more of its own land for housing. Have the Lib Dems proposed any sites either in Hillside, which I understand will be of interest to you as well, or across the borough? And as Executive Member for Housing, have you tried engaging with the Lib Dems on this issue?
Chris, thank you for your question. I was actually interested and heartened to hear from the Lib Dem leader, Councillor Ferris, at the last council meeting, that they had a housing strategy to improve the supply of affordable housing. I thought this was an opportunity for a real cross-party working to deliver much-needed affordable housing. Straight after the meeting, I emailed Councillor Ferris to ask for a copy. He kindly responded a couple of days later, referring me to a website and an A4 page entitled Homes for Local People, which he said he'd been working on for several months. Imagine my disappointment to find this document said nothing more about affordable housing provision than we need to provide more council land for development and WBC should build more houses ourselves through its housing companies. Now, I agree with that, but I could have done with a bit more detail. Undaunted, I emailed him back asking him what sites they had in mind for the council to develop and what numbers they were thinking about. I was unable to get any specifics other than they would support some sites and not others. I tried again, to no avail, for specific proposals we could work together on. I'd really like to stop the provision of affordable housing from being a political football where campaigns are whipped up for political advantage, but I fear this is not where the Lib Dems are heading. And no, I haven't managed to get any constructive proposals from them, but I will keep trying. I would like to put on record that I would welcome any suggestions from the Labour, Liberal or indeed the Independents as to specific sites they would like to progress. This really needs to be taken out of the political arena so we can afford needed affordable.
You haven't got any.
Affordable housing. Maybe the remaining Labour member would like to pass this request back to his leader, who seems to have gone.
Thank you. My question is regarding antisocial behaviour problems in and around the Roose Hill area. The Woking Borough Council Community Safety Booklet states Woking Borough Council will support projects to improve your community. So, will you commit to enabling a youth centre, youth outreach workers and a Roose Hill community development worker to be put into this area as soon as possible in order to tackle underlying problems that are creating the antisocial behaviour?
Clearly it's unlikely that I can give commitments like that on the hoof. You have been in discussion with WBC officers about this issue, and I'm hoping that there's constructive work going on to address this. Antisocial behaviour, of course, is not to be tolerated, and where it's happening, it does need to be dealt with very firmly, and there needs to be enough activities for people of all ages, especially during the summer holidays when lots of people are looking for things to do. So I'm hoping that the discussions that you had with our officers are fruitful in that sense.
Thank you.
It took about 2.5 years for the Winnersh crossroads to be fixed. Anthony, yes, it's to you. How long is it going to take you to fix the traffic signals on King Street Lane and the Reef Road? Because right now they're causing terrific tailbacks. Hopefully less than 2.5 years.
Hopefully you are correct.
Could you give me an estimate sometime in the future? By email?
Okay, well that's done. Oh, sorry, Philip. Philip, I missed you down there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can the Executive Member for Highways, once again, please update me on the outcome of the recent consultation on reducing the speed limit on Old Forest Road, Embrook, and the development of the chicane? If the consensus is that the residents want this, when will this work commence, particularly as the section of the NDR from Twyford Road to Telford has now been opened, and this can seriously affect Old Forest Road?
Thank you very much for this question. I don't have the details to hand of the response from the consultation, but obviously if there's a significant majority in favour of the proposal, then I'm happy to deliver it, and I will deliver it as soon as we can.
Okay, no other questions? Good.
Could I ask Standing Order 4212M that we extend the meeting for an additional half hour after 10:30, please?
Okay, you've heard the suggestion. Would you all like to vote on it, please? All those in favour? All those against?
Who's got red?
It's got to go.
Have you guys read the through?
That's not carried through. Okay, well, we move on to, we've done very well tonight. We managed to get to the motions, but each motion gets 30 minutes. Now, the first motion is Lindsay Ferris's. You can take it if you want, but you've only got 20 minutes. It's entirely up to you.
It's ironical, you've probably stopped Richard Stalinsky's motion. The ongoing works around the Town Hall have had a significant impact on the number of people shopping and visiting Wokingham. This in turn has led to a reduction in income for many town centre businesses. Some of these businesses have closed down, some have left, whilst others are hanging on for the works to be completed. We have been asked by local residents and by some of the local business owners what Woking Borough Council can do to help alleviate their situation. One area where Woking Borough Council can help is to offer Section 47 business rates relief to those businesses who can clearly show they have been financially impacted by the regeneration and associated works. In particular, Section 47 discounts awards can be used to help mitigate the escalation of needs that arise from unforeseen or exceptional circumstances, in this case the works around the Town Hall, that threaten taxpayers' ability to find the costs of business rates and may even threaten their ability to remain trading. We have discovered that Woking Borough Council does already have such a policy. Prue will expand to you on the difficulties associated with finding this policy on the Woking Borough website in her speech a second ago. In addition, there is an annual budget of £50,000 associated with this policy. However, to date, less than 30% of this budget has been allocated at a time there is a clear and urgent need. We believe the Council should proactively publicise this facility to the local businesses so impacted, as it is at this time now that many businesses need this help. We call on the Council to help them before it is too late. Thank you.
Do you have a seconder? Would you like to speak now?
In light of the time, I would. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now, when we were working on this motion, I went to the council website and clicked on the bit in the section on business rates, which tells you about the business rate reduction schemes, because there are a number of them. Hardship relief appears in the list, but all you get when you click on it is a statement that says who can apply for financial hardship relief. We offer financial hardship relief in cases of extreme hardship, and businesses that are important to the community, how to apply, email, certain officer on call switchboard. No information about who qualifies or how they prove it or what they might be entitled to. So I asked officers for the policy and I got sent a link to the bit I've just read out. So when I explained that when I said policy I did actually mean policy, it turned out there is a document and I now have it. But it isn't on the website, and so the council hasn't exactly been great at telling people how to get hardship relief. Having read the policy, it is a little bit vague, but in this context, vague is good, because it covers discounts for any property or business of the council's choosing, and any building type, size, location, function, or in support of a regeneration policy, etc. So the good news is that the mechanism already exists for helping the independent businesses, and as Lindsay said, there's £50,000 in the budget to do it. And these independent businesses, their income has been hammered by this council's regeneration works in Wokingham Town. All we have to do is to confirm we specifically want it used for that, and then to publicise it to the people that need it. So for the regeneration in the town to have any chance, we don't just need new businesses to occupy the new shops, we need the existing businesses to stay open. Some have already closed and some are teetering on the brink of closure. This council has a moral obligation to help because it is this council's fault that these businesses are in trouble. Now, high streets generally are already facing decline, but what has really clobbered traders in Wokingham Town is this council's works on Peach Street and the Marketplace, done at the same time and in one case massively overrunning. And it's appalling that so little has been done to help the traders. I really hope the Conservatives will support this motion. Nationally, with their government's disastrous attempts at negotiating Brexit, they've already sacrificed their reputation for economic competence and any claim to be the party of business. And if they turn their backs on businesses here, they will just confirm their uselessness locally as well.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was quite surprised to hear about the motion that Lindsay and Prue have put down this evening. Officers have worked very hard with local businesses, as have the town council, and we have been out to speak to pretty much every local business, I understand from the town clerk and the town council, to advise them that this relief is in place. But if there are any businesses who haven't applied, then we would welcome them applying as soon as possible. I agree that the policy is quite hard to find, and it did take me some time to find it. But initially, we're asking businesses to make contact with the Borough Council. The Borough Council will then look on each individual case, tell them what information we need, and then we'll judge it based on the criteria that we have, that we want to help as much as we possibly can.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, let's just clarify. Business rates are not decided by this council, decided by the government. But we have offered every single business in Wokingham Town the opportunity of free consultation with Vale Williams to seek business rate reduction. In the phase 1 of the town centre regeneration, which was the work over boots, clerks, etc., we offered that at that time to our tenants because obviously they were affected mostly in that section. And indeed, some of the tenants got up to 50% reduction at that time. We've offered this now as a free consultation for all commercial businesses within the town centre. Amazingly, only 9 have taken this offer up. 9. And that's considerably less than the even one street. That offer still applies. Every one of them can apply for this assistance and we are paying for that. But in addition to that, we've offered marketing funds. We've gone out and shared with the Town Council, the Business Association as well. We've created videos, we've created advertising. But not all businesses participate. Who knows why? They know themselves, we don't. But there are many that do not participate in any of these joint exercises and don't get the benefit from them. Many are getting the benefit from it, and as we're seeing tonight, as I mentioned earlier on, there's still a demand for people to come into work. And rest assured, once the regeneration is finished in the town centre, by the end of November, and everything's open, those same businesses will take advantage of all the extra people coming in.
Lindsay, would you like to, you're right to reply?
Yes.
Sorry, Lindsay, because I just interrupted you. Mrs. Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just before Councillor Ferris sums up, I'd also just like to reiterate, and as we have a member of the press here this evening, as Councillor Murphy said this evening, Vale Williams have been working with us at our cost in order to help our many businesses apply for revaluation of their business rates. But we do want more of them to come forward and take part in that exercise if they want to. So please, as a plea to you, Phil, please advertise that as widely as you possibly can, because we are here to offer that service, because it is not particularly easy in terms of applying for that. So that's why we've put on that service. And also, I just wanted to make a point here. The last part of your motion is absolutely spot on. I'm very happy to commit tonight to putting the full policy on the website and make it much easier for businesses to access.
I hope there isn't a degree of confusion on business rate revaluation and the policy, the section 47, which is not related to that. The one we're talking about is discretionary, and as I say, we have a budget which has been in there since at least 2014, and in this current year only just about 14,000 of that 50,000 has been taken up. Now there must be some reasons why businesses are not taking this up. It may be that they've had great difficulty finding it on the website, because it took us about 3 weeks to find it, and it was only through persistence from Prue that we actually got round what was this convoluted loop of missing in the debate on the website. So I hope that having got it on the website, and I take Charlotte's point, I want to be able to make sure that the businesses, and a number of them have come to us and have said they've got severe problems and they're struggling, that we have as the council, and it is largely our programme of activity in conjunction with the town council, I admit, that has caused a lot of the problem for them. I think it is incumbent on us as the council to be as proactive as we can to help these businesses, because if they don't stay here or they're not here, then it ruins everything else that's going on. And we do, whilst we have issues with the town centre, we do want a thriving town. Thank you. Do you want to record it? Could we have a recorded vote, please?
We're not there.
No, we're not there.
Can I make a point of clarification?
You can make a point of clarification, yes.
Thank you. I think we're pretty much all on the same side here. I don't think there's anyone in this chamber that's against business. I think it's just really a matter of how we actually deliver that. What I would encourage is any business within the town that feels that they want to make that application can do so. There's no problem with doing that. And then officers independently of politicians will make that judgment as to whether or not they are entitled to actually make that claim for that kind of relief. So I don't actually see that there's a great deal of difference between us and what you're proposing. So I did wonder what was going on there just for a moment. Just getting late. I thought it's been a long day. But on a serious note, I really don't think there's a great deal between us. So what I'd like to do is, I think we probably can support in the main what you're actually proposing, but what I'd like to do is take sort of 5 minutes to speak with my group, and then we'll come back and hopefully we'll get an agreement, if that's acceptable to you.
Give you 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got an adjournment suggested here to go away and review, which I think is a good idea. All those in favour of the adjournment? Yes, that's carried. Well, you've got to be back before, well, we close at 10:30, guys. The licensing house, so you've got to get back. Okay? Thank you. Last thought. Here's the proposer.
I've had an indication during that they'd be able to support. So I've had an indication that the ruling group is willing to support. So I will withdraw the issue of having a recorded vote, so we can go to a straight vote. Everyone votes for it. Sorry?
We're happy with the recorded vote.
You're happy with the recorded vote? Yes. If you want a recorded vote, I'm happy to retain it.
Yeah, because
our
principle disappeared. Thank you. Yes.
There must have been something more interesting.
I misunderstood the point. We were trying to save some time. We're more than happy to retain recorded vote. Thank you.
Right, you could start the recorded vote. Okay.
Okay, all those to respond, whether they vote for or against the motion proposed by Councillor Ferris. Councillor Baker.
You're sure?
Four.
Barry.
Right, 4.
Burgess.
Missing. Guinness.
10.
4.
Cowan.
4.
Croy.
Missing enough.
Zielinski.
4.
Duran.
Missing in action as well.
4.
Branson.
He's had an emergency work call, I believe.
Haynes. M. Hayden Taylor.
4.
Hare. 4. Hobb. Fulton. Howe.
4.
Jarvis. 4. Jorgensen. N. 4. Jorgensen. P.
4.
Kaiser. King.
4.
Noyes. 4. McGee Sumner.
4.
Mile.
4.
Murphy.
4.
Munro.
4.
Hammond.
4. 4.
Howard. 4. Richards.
4.
Ross.
4.
Sergeant.
4.
Shepherd Gray. 5.
4.
Shepherd Gray. R.
4.
Slight.
R.
Smith. C.
4.
Smith. W.
4.
So.
Stay.
Weeks.
4.
Whittle.
4.
Eunice.
4.
By my mathematics, that's carried.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You've all done extremely well. It's nice to end on a note of unity. Thank you very much.